standing, y'all. And we're gonna start with our feet under our hips. And I always start with 3 deep breaths in and out of the nose, okay? So I think it's really important to get that nasal breathing right from the get-go. So let's just seal the mouth, relax, bend the knees, and let's just take 3 breaths and just note where you are. Let's try not to judge it, but just see where you're breathing. Like, feel where you're breathing into. Maybe you'll just notice, maybe I'm feeling a little tension up in my upper back or in the ribs. And just go ahead and let that breath come out as softly as you can. And again, just breathing in through the nose. We're just taking note of how we're feeling. It's not a judgment. We're just taking inventory. And just really softening the breath on the way out, allowing the shoulders to melt, allowing the knees to soften a little bit. And we'll do that one more time. Breathing in through the nose, feeling where it's hitting, maybe where the ribs are expanding, the belly's expanding, and then letting it go. And then we're gonna start with our activation. So arms coming out, we're gonna pat the belly, wake up the digestive system, get some energy flow into the body. And while I'm talking, try to keep breathing in and out of the nose, okay? Just keeping it slow and as light as you can. Great, go ahead and rub the belly. And then we're gonna bend our knees and let our hands come up the side, shoulders shrug up, and then we're gonna drop it to the ground. And we're just gonna do that in rapid succession. Like you're on a little trampoline, knees are bending, shoulders are shrugging, and we're just pumping some energy through the body. Good. And then we're gonna let that go. Sending the left palm out, we're gonna pat the chest and bring it down to the hand. And then give the hands a little clap and just kind of get some energy there. And then we'll go top of the hand and up to the neck and the shoulder. Take your left thumb up and we'll bring it down to the thumb line. And we're just waking everything up. And we're gonna take it underneath to the pinky line. And then we're gonna bring it back down the side of the body. And we're gonna take it across the chest and switch it out. So right arm out, coming down to the palm, and give it a little clap. And then goes top of the hand and up to the neck and the shoulder. Thumb goes up and we're coming down to the thumb line. And then bring it back and underneath to the pinky line. Might feel a little weird, but it feels so good just to kind of wake it up. Take it down the side of the body to the chest, and we'll just give our chest a little rub and just breathe in and out of the nose. Go into the solar plexus, right where the ribs open, just give it a little rub, and then let's go to the belly. Now we're getting into the hips a little bit, so a little hinge forward, pat your sacrum just above your tailbone, and then come all the way out into the glutes, and just kind of get all the way around there. Any tight spots, any sore spots, just kind of give them a little hello. And then let's come down the back of the legs. So let's pat down the back of the legs and then up the inside. So coming up the inner thighs, and then we're gonna go down the outside and up the inside. And then we're gonna go down the front and up the inside. Now we're gonna twist our ribs to the left, to the right, to the left, right, and then rub the belly. Now we're gonna do our big hip circle, so hands on your hips. Go ahead and separate the feet a little bit more and just swing your hips around, but just make it as fluid as you can. If you can also like maybe bring your feet closer together. It's an exploration here of just moving around. And then let's go the other way. Nice. And then we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna make a big fist. So really get the blood, see like really white knuckle it for a second and then spread it nice and wide. So make a fist, and then sew it nice and wide. And one more time. And now we're gonna send the arms up, stretch to the sky. And just, if it feels good, just even like open your heart up to the sky, get yourself really big, and then shoot your hips back, head forward. Give me the longest line you got. You can come down with straight legs or you can bend your knees, but now we're gonna let gravity take that head towards the ground. And then we're gonna let our tailbone get heavy. Our belly starts to lift us. It just picks us right up as we roll up our spine. We'll do that 2 more times, just a little more fluid. Whatever range of motion's working for you today, go for it. Roll it up 1 more time, really open the body. And send it out. Come on down, bend your knees, roll it up. Nice. And then we're gonna put our hands flat on our chair, or a desk would be fine. We're gonna do a standing cat-cow. So bring your hips over your feet, your shoulders over your wrists, and then we're gonna start with our tailbone. So the tailbone's gonna start to tuck under like a little scared puppy dog tail. And then from under your ribs, you're really hugging up. So the abdominals are really lifting the organs to the spine, and the head can look down and in between your inner thighs. Now press your palms into the chair and really spread your shoulder blades apart. And now take an inhale through the nose and see if you can get some more space between your shoulder blades using your breath. And now we're gonna go long. So think about your tailbone and your crown of your head reaching away from each other. Don't worry about giving me a big back bend, but think about finding length on the front of the belly. Maybe at the very end, the tailbone lifts and the head lifts. And then we'll go a little more fluid here. So we're gonna round, breathe between those shoulder blades and lengthen. And 1 more time, round. And then in this last lengthen, I want you to hold for a second, and then we're gonna do our best to let our belly go. Because if we really suck that gut in all the time, we are not able to take our deeper breaths. So maybe even give your belly a little massage and just really let it hang. I know maybe we wear like tight pants, or we're wearing our skinny jeans or something like that, but it really disturbs your breathing patterns to wear those tight things. So put on some sweatpants, let it all hang, take a moment here, and just see if you can breathe into the belly for a second. Good. Now go ahead and straighten your legs. We're gonna work on a little thoracic twist. So take your right hand to the center of your chair, and your left arm's gonna come off to the side. We're gonna get into those ribs a little bit. So think length through the crown of the head and the tailbone. Start to let your ribs turn, and then your left arm will follow up to the sky. Now let's hold here for a second and see if you can take an inhale and give your body some length here in that twist, and feel where the breath goes. And then let's take it underneath and just reach through and stretch through the shoulder blades. We'll do that 2 more times. Send it up, take an inhale, feel where the breath goes, and then send it under and stretch between the shoulder blades. And then 1 more time, just a little more fluid. And send it through. Awesome, let's do the other side. So left hand center, we're gonna send the ribs up, the right arm follows, and then we breathe here. The breath gives us length, and then we exhale and dive it through. And 2 more. Good, last one. And send it through. Good, and now flip your chair. We're gonna do our thoracic stretch. So a lot of times in breathing, if we're tight here, we can't really let the shoulders lift, the ribs expand. So we're gonna try to open that up a little bit. So start with your palms down, step your feet back, send your tailbone beyond your heels, engage the belly, hug the ribs up, and as a unit, let your spine melt to the ground. So in essence, your goal is to get your arms back behind you in space. So if you were standing up, you'd have your arms up and back. So that's what we're trying to kind of get to right now. And just opening up underneath the armpits here. And if it's too aggressive, lift up. Don't overdo it. I want you to go to a place where you can just take some breaths. If it's too aggressive on your low back, make sure your ribs are still hugged up, and then you can also soften your knees. Good, and so now we're gonna kind of stretch down the whole side of the body. So take your left hand and walk it over to the right side. And then walk your right foot center, and you're gonna take your left foot and give it a big half circle back. So it's like you're making a half moon with your body. And so if I were to do it here, I'd look something like this, yeah? And now just really send that breath into the left side of the body. Reach beyond your left hand. So think about your left hand reaching beyond the chair, and think about your left heel stretching long. And then maybe a couple of rotations will feel nice here. And again, we're sending our breath into the ribs. Good, let's take it center. And we'll go back to our center. And then right hand goes on top of the left. Left foot comes center. And then our right leg takes that half circle back. And I'm sending energy beyond my right hand and beyond my right heel, and trying to open up the whole side of the body. And then if it feels good, rotate a little bit. Or just breathe. Awesome, good guys. Now let's just take a seat, and we're gonna take some just some breath work here to finish off. So let's sit up tall in our seat. So our sternum is over our pubic bone. Our chin is tucking in towards our throat, so the back of the neck is long. And we're gonna put our hands on our low ribs. And we wanna feel those ribs move. So let's first just see if on the inhale, we can just let those ribs expand. And you can go can just really focus on the ribs moving at the moment. Almost like you're using your breath to stretch you from the inside out. Okay, do that a few times. And also think about the ribs not just expanding forward, but also into the back, right? So feel the back of the lungs expand, feel the front of the ribs expand. Good. Nice, now let's take our hands a little lower onto the low belly. Really relax the shoulders. Again, making sure that the tongue is just resting behind the teeth or to the roof or the palate of the mouth. Lips are sealed. And now take that a little bit of a slower inhale in through the nose now. Feel where it hits the back of the throat, how the lungs expand, the belly expands. When you get to the top of that inhale, see if you can really make it passive on the exhale. Really relax into it. Let your shoulders melt. Let that exhale be soft as it comes out. We're gonna just do that a few more times. You're just gonna really focus on following the breath. Feel the cooler air as it comes in through the nose. Maybe how it hits the back of the throat, the ribs expand, the belly expands. And then really trying to make it soft on the exhale. Nice, if you're feeling it come all the way down to the belly, good job, keep trying for that. That's your deep breath, going low. Now we're gonna try to make it a little lighter. So instead of just taking in a big gulp of air, see if you can make your breath so fine and so light that it doesn't disrupt the fine hairs in your nose, or you could think about a feather under your nose, and it's not gonna disrupt that. So see if we can just make that breath a little bit lighter. So we've got light and we've got deep that we're focusing on for a moment. And we're just staying so present with the breath. And if your mind starts to wander, that's perfectly normal, it's perfectly fine. Just try to keep coming back to the breath. How light is it? How slow is it? How deep can you go? Where do you feel the breath? Are you feeling it in the back of your ribs, in the back of your throat? Just keep being really, really present. Explore your breath and allow your mind to just relax into that. So we've got, our breath is light, we've got it deep, and then just do your best to try to slow it down even more. Maybe just a second longer on the inhale. Maybe it's just a half a second longer. And let's just take 2 more of those. And with every exhale, your body's relaxing a little bit more into that passive state. And if you're feeling really good right here with your light, slow, deep breath, go ahead and take a couple more. I'm gonna sign off and say thank you.